Is that your badge number?
Well, I hope it is.
Let's
take a photograph of it, please.
Yeah. Just wondering. I've got to prove it. Obviously, I don't know you from Adam. You could be someone just who's
Well, we're not going to do this for fancy dress, are we? Right. As my colleague explained, the reason why we stopped you is because you fit the description of somebody acting suspiciously. Right? Now, you've given a legitimate reason why you're here.
Yeah.
Right. But we need to see some ID and some proof that you are here legitimately.
No, I understand that.
Can you see that, please?
I understand that, but on another term, I have actually got human rights.
Is that your vehicle there?
Nope.
Okay. So, what form of identification have you got on you to say you're actually canvassing?
I've got ID on me, but I don't have to legally show it here because I've not committed a crime.
Right.
Obviously,
we've
had a phone call about like suspicious mail, so we need to ascertain whether you say you are, but I take it you're not going to give us your name.
I get this every week.
Verified. Yeah, but you've got to appreciate we get calls from members.
No, I understand that, but I'm doing a job. I'm paying me taxes. I'm earning money. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand. I have not committed a crime.
If you were calling us, surely you'd want us to follow it up, wouldn't you? That's why we've been sent here, to follow it up. We want to be rest assured when we leave here today that you're not up to anything suspicious.
An unclear phone call, without any solid evidence of a crime, does not give police the authority to detain someone or demand their ID. The officers' claim that they needed to confirm the auditor's identity is especially concerning, since the auditor never pretended to be anyone else. In fact, they were exercising a clear legal right. In the UK, you are not required to provide identification unless there is a lawful basis, like reasonable suspicion of criminal activity. Here, relying on vague third-party reports to demand an ID check opens the door to profiling, abuse of authority, and overreach, all while no actual offense had taken place. This situation underscores the risk of acting on unverified claims instead of real, credible evidence.
I understand it in that way, but I'm not.
Your name gives you ID. We could ring SafeStar, say, and confirm.
Well, you can ring SafeStar and you can ask them if you've got canvases in this area, and you'll validate who I am. And what's but obviously, I'm not giving it out.
Well, when I ring up SafeStar UK and say you've got canvases, and they say
they know I'm in this office. They know I'm around here because we get issued to a certain area, and they keep both names of the people.
So where's your ID card?
It is on me, but I don't have to show it. I've not committed a crime.
We're going round in circles here, aren't we, chap?
No, I don't mean human rights, mate. I've not committed a crime. Obviously, you're putting me under alarm and distress now. You both cover it going round me. Obviously, you're trying to say that I have to show my ID.
You're putting me under alarm and distress.
How am I?
It's our ID. We've shown you our ID. So
yeah, but at the end of the day, you're a public servant.
Instead of recognizing the auditor's legal right to withhold ID when there is no reasonable suspicion, the officers persistently pressure him, then astonishingly claim that he is causing harassment, alarm, and distress. The irony is striking and deeply concerning. How can trained officers, backed by authority and uniform, claim to feel distressed simply because someone calmly asserts their lawful rights? Matters worsen when one officer, challenged about their conduct, tries to justify the imbalance by saying, "We've shown you our ID." That misses the point entirely. The real issue is the ongoing demand for the auditor's personal information without any legal basis. In an attempt to twist the story, they portray themselves as victims, when in reality, their actions are what escalate tension. This circular reasoning and refusal to respect a lawful refusal is more than just poor policing, it borders on abusive behavior and misuse of authority.
Chap, I may be a public servant, but I'm not your servant.
No, I didn't say you were my servant, did I?
Okay.
I said, but if you're walking around with a police uniform which gives you powers...
Stop going on about YouTube, it's like this public servant, okay? I'm not a servant, I'm a police officer.
Yeah,
okay?
Which means, but you serve the public.
I'm a police officer.
Right.
Okay. Police officer. I'm not a servant.
Yeah.
So let's get that quite clear before we start.
Well, there's no need to get angry, is there? Because now you're putting me under alarm and distress, now I feel threatened.
When an officer declares, "I might be a public servant, but I'm not your servant. I'm a police officer," it exposes a troubling sense of entitlement and ego, directly contradicting a basic principle of policing: officers exist to serve the public, not themselves. This statement isn't just words, it reveals an inflated sense of authority and a fundamental misunderstanding of duty. Even more concerning, it comes amid a consistent pattern of pressure, intimidation, and refusal to honor the auditor's lawful rights. The tone is dismissive, confrontational, and steeped in superiority. In that moment, the officer is not simply avoiding accountability, he is undermining the very core values of democratic policing. For the auditor, who has done nothing wrong, this approach creates a real emotional burden, intensifying the harassment, alarm, and distress he is already experiencing.
But you feel threatened.
Yeah, hence why I'm recording it, just in
That's
case
fine.
anybody's trying
That's
anything cheeky.
That's fine.
I've had it before where police has thrown me on the floor for asking him, have you got ID?
So police officers thrown you on the floor?
Yeah.
That's what I do.
I've asked for him.
Very strange.
Well, not all coppers are legitimate, are they? Not all coppers are nice. So at this moment in time, am I detained?
That's right.
What for? What am I being detained for? Have I committed a criminal offence? I've not committed a criminal offence. How can you detain me? Because then you're holding me hostage. You're now restricting my free way of movement, because now you're saying I'm being detained for a crime I've not committed. I will just literally. I'll send this to me my lawyer, mate. This is going straight to my lawyer.
First things first, you're recording it.
Yeah.
Has it just picked up the word that you just said to me?
Yeah.
Right. This is your first and last warning. You swear at me again, you'll be arrested. Do you understand me?
Yeah, but I'm asking why am I being detained?
Listen to me. Are you going to listen?
I'll listen, but I want you to listen to my point of view.
Detained at this moment in time.
Yeah.
So we can speak to the caller.
Yeah.
Because as I said, you fit the description of a person seen acting suspiciously.
Yeah.
Right? Now, until we speak to the caller and fathom out what the caller says to us, you're not going anywhere.
Right, so you're detaining me against my own will from a crime that I've not committed.
This situation is a textbook example of police overreach. Holding someone without concrete legal justification, simply because they fit a vague description and a third party made a call, is not only bad policing, it directly infringes on civil liberties. The officer even admits that the detention relies solely on the caller's word and insists the auditor will remain detained until we figure it out. That approach flatly contradicts the law. You cannot detain a person based on hunches or vague suspicions. There must be objective, reasonable grounds. Under UK law, particularly the Police and Criminal Evidence Act, PACE, officers are required to have legitimate reasons for detention, not just act on someone else's opinion. By presuming guilt before establishing innocence, this officer undermines the very principle of justice that the legal system is meant to uphold.
Are you going to admit that now on camera, that you're detaining me when I've not committed an offence?
Till we speak to the caller.
Yeah.
See exactly what the caller says you have or haven't done.
Right, but technically you can't detain someone if they've not committed a crime, because then that's holding them against their own will.
Well, once we speak to the caller,
yeah, but now
the crime has been committed, then I'll tell you what's going to happen next.
So you're actually admitting you've illegally detained me for a crime I've not committed?
We haven't illegally detained you.
Well, if you've not detained me, then I'm free to go.
Tell you what, walk up there and we'll follow you then if you need to speak to you again.
But then it's harassing.
Off you go.
But then it's harassing.
No, what I'm saying is, if you'd like to leave,
right.
if you'd like to leave now and walk whichever way you like, carry on. And if I need to speak to you at a different time, I'll come after you and have a word with you.
This officer's response is deeply alarming and shows a striking disregard for both proper procedure and individual rights. Instead of addressing the auditor's legitimate concern about being unlawfully detained, the officer casually proposes, "How about you walk away and we'll follow you?" As if this somehow resolves the issue. In reality, it only heightens tension and amounts to harassment. Continuing surveillance without legal justification, after the auditor has clearly asserted his right to be left alone, is unacceptable. What the officer is suggesting amounts to an informal, unwarranted stop, shadowing someone in hopes of creating suspicion after the fact rather than acting on concrete legal grounds in the moment. This is a clear example of policing through intimidation. When there is no lawful basis to detain a person, following them under the vague pretext of needing to speak again is not just unreasonable, it crosses the line into an abuse of power.
I'll just put a complaint in. I'll just put a complaint into IPCC.
That's fine. That's fine.
Because obviously you're illegally detaining me for a crime I've not committed. So obviously, like I'm going to ask again, am I being detained for a crime? Because obviously now no one's answering. If I'm not being detained for a crime...
I'm in the process of speaking to your manager.
Right.
If you'd like to walk away, you are free to walk away. And if I detain us for crime, I will come after you, won't I? It's up to you, sir.
I'm not going to turn me back. I'm not going to turn me back on officers so you can body slam me.
Do what you'd like. I don't think I'm capable of body slamming.
Hey, there's police out there that body slam people for the fun of it.
When he's asked for an officer's ID.
So you've illegally detained me, you call me a liar.
You should have called him a liar.
Yeah, but now you've also illegally detained me. So wait until IPC.
Wait, we're going around in circles. Twice I've said, if you'd like to walk away, walk away.
Well, just for the camera, have I been committed as a crime? Right, so I've not committed a crime, so well, you've given me permission to walk away. I'm not, mate. I'm not, mate. Now you're making lies about me. You've also illegally detained me, like I said before, when he says you're now detained. What for what crime? He couldn't give me a crime. So he's legally detained me on the spot. He's also kept me hostage. So I do know my rights, and this will be going to IPCC. I will be sending it to Milan. I'll wait until it's all over line. I don't need the log number. I've got your badge numbers. Because I don't trust it. I don't trust the fact I can walk away with you.
I've been showing us your ID in the first instance. I don't think it would have taken this long. So when you're talking about being...
Yeah, but my right, I don't have to show my ID if I've not committed a crime or I'm on suspicion of crime. I've not committed a crime. I'm working.
The officers claim that the situation would have been avoided if the auditor had simply shown ID exposes a deeply flawed mindset. It shifts responsibility for the officer's own misconduct onto someone who was merely asserting their legal rights. The auditor had done nothing wrong, clearly stated he was working, and explained his lawful position, yet the officer treated his refusal to comply as the central problem. This is less about procedure and more about ego. The officer could not handle being told no. Instead of reassessing the situation within the bounds of the law, he doubled down and implied that the auditor was to blame for the escalation. This kind of reasoning is dangerous, suggesting that simply refusing an officer's demand is justification for detention or further action, a mindset that is deeply troubling for anyone in a position of law enforcement authority.
Working's committing a crime, I'll just go and join benefits.
You could have last time you worked 10 minutes ago and you could have gone on your way then, couldn't you? So
we'll have to go so we don't have to body
the
slam.
log.
So we don't body slam.
Before you get that urge.
Yeah. Okay. So, it's what I said. Free to go, Sam?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for you to leave.
I took them to a criminal court and a civil court. At the criminal court, I was awarded £35,000 because of the incorrect ways and the way they did the jobs, which was performed illegally. Officer Stephen Haynes, PC Jarvis and PC Warwick. One of them was suspended for 2 months with further investigation. One of them was fired and the other one was given a slap on the wrist and was allowed to still do the job, but under investigation by their
The £35,000 compensation payout underscores just how serious the officer's misconduct was. This was far from a minor issue. It represents a clear violation of Curno's rights and highlights systemic failures rather than isolated mistakes. One officer was dismissed, another suspended, and a third left under internal review, showing the severity of the wrongdoing. From the outset, the officers combined arrogance with a disregard for the law, demanding ID based on a vague phone call with no legal basis. When Curno lawfully refused, they escalated the situation unnecessarily. Comments like the male officer claiming he was not a servant and the female officer suggesting things would have been easier if Curno had simply complied reveal a fundamental misunderstanding of civil liberties. Their actions were not about enforcing the law, they were about asserting control. The legal and professional consequences that followed serve as a powerful reminder of the importance of standing firm in your rights and holding authorities accountable. Curno's refusal to be intimidated demonstrates that asserting your lawful rights can have meaningful impact against those who abuse their power. If you found this breakdown insightful, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out Colonel Audit's channel in the description for more.